everyone, it's Ashley down here at Smart Power Sports up in Okoboji, Iowa. Today we're going to be installing the Rugged Radio Master Communication Kit on the 2024 Segway Villain. So stay tuned, we'll show you details on how it all goes together.
Hi, this is Hunter with Smart Power Sports, and we are going to continue with the assembly of the Rugged Radio intercom system. So here we got the mount for the system that you're going to want to install on your base plate that covers your fuse box. So you're going to want to mount it on that just like so. And on this one we scooted it up a little bit due to the Super ATV flip out windshield, so you can still use that. And then so that will go here once you have that installed, and then your radio will sit in that. And then so far we also installed our toggle switches to operate the unit. So you just pull off your base plate that covers your screen there and you install them here. And then you have the wires coming out the back, which we will show you in the same video a little later on down the road. And then we also over here have our power cables that you'll run to your battery up to the radio itself and plug in here once you get to that step. So now we're going to run some wires and then get back and show you what we have. So we have our intercom and radio installed and hooked up. So now once you hit the toggle switch on the bottom, it'll turn the system on. So next we'll be running our wires for the headsets and the antenna. And you will hook your headset wires into the back of your intercom, which is in the glove box. Then you will run these over to the driver's side and run it along and feed them. And once the seats are back in, they'll be behind the seats so you can hook them up to your headsets. And then you run the other one over to your passenger seat and do the same thing with that. And then our antenna cable will run along the side here and up through the frame and up through, and it'll hook up to our antenna, which the mount for the antenna clamps onto the roll cage right there. So far we've installed our radio mount to our center bezel and ran all of our wires from the bottom of it to our hole we have here that we ran our wires through. And that hole there leads to the glove box, which is where our intercom is. And all those wires from the radio up top connect to the intercom. And then we ran the antenna cable up the pillar here to the back and to the other side. And then we ran our comm radio wires through there, and then up this pillar around to this side and hook those to our headphones, which connect right here. And then this is where our antenna will mount, and then we'll mount this somewhere on the roll cage. Here's what we finished doing. We ran our headset wires from the controller there up the roll cage and then around, and they come out here, and then they go into the cab and connect to the driver and passenger headsets. And then we also finished running our antenna wire, which is on the opposite side, and that runs up and across over to here, and then it hooks up to our antenna, which is right here. So now we'll turn it on and I'll kind of run you through what all of our controls do. So down here you have a rocker switch that'll turn on, that'll turn everything on. So once you hit that, you'll get the noise. And then, so that control is just on and off. And then this is to the radio. And then that's the plus and minus, and that's for your volume control. And then your pause and play button, which that pauses and continues the music. And then you could take phone calls with it as well. And this knob here will kind of clear up like the signal that you might get with like your radio. And then you also have a push to talk button. So when you're ready to talk, this would be the passenger side. You just push the button and then talk. And then the driver also has one on the steering wheel. You just push to talk as well. And then you can tell that someone's talking when you push the button. It glows red. And then this here will change your channels. And then this, your like presets are in these ones here. And this would be your settings button. And then this here can lock it. So if you're driving, this will lock it. So if you hit a button on accident, nothing will change it. So it'll lock the screen to what you have it on. And that is the rugged radio.